ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what, told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me, it's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck, country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up.
Good evening. How's everyone doing? Hello, Malik. Hello, Janai. How you doing, Mr. Hall?
Everything is good over here.
We're very good. This is Incarceration to Incorporate. This is Marie coming to your hearing tonight. I have Mr. Janai and Mr. Malik Jones on here tonight. And the name of our show is The Wait Wasn't Punishment, It Was Preparation. And I know I have some awesome things that I'm going to hear from this young man, Mr. Jones, and some awesome things I'm going to hear from Mr. Akins. I'd like to thank Mr. Julius Hall for giving us this platform to come on and to share our stories. And Mr. AB, who is the brain of Incarceration to Incorporate. And to my co-host, Mr. Julius Campbell, he's home, he's tired. So, yes. Anyway, I like to thank the men and who are listening, the men and women who take the time to listen to the show. So we're going to start tonight with Mr. Malik. Malik, I just want you to tell me your name and tell me your affiliation with Incarceration.
My name is Malik Jones, and my affiliation with Incarceration is being an at-risk youth. Someone is considered at-risk youth. My first encounter with Incarceration, I was 11 years old. I actually took my grandmother's van after my father came into my life for 2.5 weeks after doing an 8.5-year prison bed. It took a major toll on me, and I just felt like, incarceration was cool. And I just felt like that's where my life was leading me. That's, I thought that would have my mind attracted at the moment. So I actually stole my grandmother's van, and I almost killed myself and someone else. But luckily I didn't. And a couple of weeks after that, I actually was arrested for being disobedient and disrespectful. And I actually continued to go back and forth to juvenile for a while. I was in juvenile about 10 times.
Okay, Malik, hold on for 1 second. I don't want you to go no further. I want Janai to tell me his name and tell me his affiliation to Incarceration. Then I'm going to come back to you, and then you can go on with your story, okay?
Most definitely.
Good evening. My name is Nardy, Akins. My affiliation with Incarceration is I was locked up in 1991 for conspiracy and to drugs and so forth. I did 24 years in throughout the federal system, and I never did any juvenile time. I was never a victim of what they call circumstances. My decisions was my decisions, and I had a good upbringing. I had a grandfather in my life, a mother, aunt, a whole family. And like I said, I was never a victim. My decisions was my decision. At the time, I didn't know anything about owning them, but I own them because I had that. I didn't have any of that to do. I had a good upbringing. We had money, we had food, we had everything. It's just that I wanted more, and I made the wrong decisions to get more.
Okay, so Malik, I heard you say that you wanted someone had got out of prison for doing 8 years, and you wanted to be like them. Malik, he's off, Mr. Hall.
No, his feed went out. He's back now.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you said that you wanted to be like someone who served some prison time, because all of us like. Can you hear me, Malik?
Yes, ma'am, I can now.
Okay, I heard you say that someone had did some prison time and you wanted to be like them. Explain why you wanted to follow in that foot take the lead to follow into that footstep.
Uh, I was actually legally adopted by my biological grandmother, which is my father's mother. And just growing up as a kid, I just really wanted to stay with one of my parents. And so when my father came into my life, in those 2 weeks, I built that bond. And I was just like, he's been absent in my life for so long. Like, why does he keep going back to prison? Is that the only way that I'll have that connection to him? And also, just in trying to do that, I began to hang with around people, and that was their goal. That was their go-to. That was me going through a phase where possibly becoming a product of my environment. But when
Right.
I moved outside of my neighborhood, once I began to encounter some great mentors, some great people along that at-risk lifestyle, that at-risk path, I began to transform my life. And that 10th arrest, um, it it actually opened my mind to doing the things that I'm doing today, and just being committed to the state, the Department of Justice, for 2.5 years. Them taking me outside of my environment for 5 to 6 months and bringing me back into my environment. I had a different mindset. That's actually what made me the man I am today, and to actually know that this is what I want to do as far as getting into politics and things like that, to basically
Mhm.
help other people. Because if I wouldn't open that American government book and saw the requirements to be the president of the United States of America, there's no telling where my life would have continued to go down that same at-risk road. So when I came home, that was the goal to uh, just change my life around and be a positive model and try to help people.
Well, that's very good. I like the fact that you said that you're trying to help people, and especially for the youth, the young kids. Me and you were talking today, and you were saying about the young kids, how you want to give back and all that you have been through. I think you'll be a good role model for these young men to give back. And Mr. Janard, you said something also. You said that you didn't have a rough upbringing. You didn't have a rough upbringing, and the things that you did, you didn't have to do. So, would a young man come to you and say, "Well, Janard, you didn't have to do these things, and he want to do the things that he have seen you don't"? What advice would you give to that young man?
The exact opposite. Tell him he don't have that to do, and just show him that it is the flip side is not. You know how they say the grass is not always green on the other side. The flip
Right.
side, it ain't all it's made up to be. You know, it's just a facade. It's not what it's made up to be. It's all the whole what they call quote unquote gangster life, street life is a
Mm-hmm.
it's fake. It's fake because when the push come to shove, when it come down to it, none of that holds up. None of that matters.
Right.
And I learned that what matters is how you were brought up, who you are, or who you always going to revert back to.
Right.
It's you're gonna always be who you are no matter the circumstances. You can put on a show, you can put on the good girl, like you can put on a good girl dance, and
Mm-hmm.
but behind closed doors we know. Do
Okay.
you understand?
Yes, I
Yeah, the
understand.
same difference with that street life. It's not what it's made up to be. It's not what
Mm-hmm.
it's cracked up to be. And I don't do nothing but just I did nothing but threw my life away chasing nothing.
Right.
Right. I did nothing but threw my life away, or most of it, chasing nothing,
Right.
wanting to be someone that I wasn't and wasn't gonna never be because that what you wanted to be is not real.
Well, I applaud both of you gentlemen. Nadia, I've been knowing you a great part of our life, and you and I go way, 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 way back.
Yeah.
And I am proud of what you're doing. You know, you when you came home, then you were making a life for yourself, and I'm going to challenge both of you guys. Malik, I got to have lunch with you so me and you can have a sit down, great talk, and so we can have a come to Jesus moment. And
That
then I want to challenge both of you guys to get into this mentoring and engagement that we're starting. I
Mm-hmm.
need people like you to that want to do things in the community and want to be involved and save these youth. These kids are killing each other every day. They're
Yeah.
shooting each other every day. We don't know what the problem is, and that's what we have to get a hold of. We have to find out where are they getting all these guns from. Everybody has a gun. Every night somebody's shooting somebody. Not even when you and I came up, it wasn't nothing like that. We were, you either fought you slugged it out, and it wasn't no that type of conflict resolution. Their
Yeah.
resolution is to get it over with a gun right away.
All
Well, to
right.
get down on whoever first. But we got
Well,
to come to
you
some
know
way.
what I'm picking up is more more. I got high when the first time I got high, I was probably uh 15, and that was on weed. These guys is 13, 12, 13, getting high off of narcotics.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, and their mind haven't even developed yet. Their heart haven't even developed yet, and they crazy than the bed bug. So, they on all kind of stuff. People making in garages and stuff.
Yeah.
So you know that, and that's what you get. The same thing.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
can I ask you?
The
Can I ask
facade.
you? Can I ask you a question, Janad and Malik? This is for either one of you all. I like what Tree said today at the event. You can tell these kids that you love them, but if you don't put any action behind them, because the people who saying that they love them, a lot of them are hurting them. So, what would you do, Janad and Malik, to help motivate them? Because you have come.
Well, see, I'm not big on trying to save the world. I'm not big on trying to save other people, kids and family. I have I have kids, I have grandkids, and I have family. So I try to stay right in every am, and all of them. I got young teenage men in my family that I concentrate on, and
Right,
it all starts at home. If
right,
everybody would just handle their own, it'll be a little better. It'll be a little better, but it's the days and the times. It's the days and the times, and that's what you get. When Jules asked me just a minute ago, he's trying to figure out where all this violence is coming from. What I'm picking up is they're on all kind of narcotics, man, and everybody got a gun, and that's a concoction for what you get every night.
yeah,
I never seen it this bad. Where even downtown, we used to be scared to go downtown and commit a crime, you know.
but not
But
no
now they
more.
go right there by the city hall and shoot you.
Yeah.
You know, the right there at the city hall, they'll get you right there. They'll shoot you right there at the police station. They crazy.
Yeah. They,
Yeah.
they don't they don't have any boundaries. They don't have respect for the law. They don't have
Right.
respect for nothing. And most of them don't care about dying. I got about 10 guys that 10 young uh anywhere from 14 to 17 that I mentor. And well, two of them 18, because I've been doing it for 3 years with these kids, 3 or 4 years out here with these kids. I first got to start mentoring them after they tore my wife political sign up, and I went and found out who they were, and then I started mentoring them, and they started putting up political signs instead of tearing them down, and that's what I do with them. I gave them a job, I paid them,
Right.
and so, but I find that they don't care anything. When they're listening to this music, they don't care nothing about dying. They don't care nothing about shooting a person. They don't care about stopping at a stop sign. So that's a mentality that we got to get away from these kids. From they stopping at a stop sign. They got this thing where they just yield. They don't stop. It's crazy. Malik, what have you been seeing that
Yes.
you see that we need to do to try to get a hold? You're a younger person, so we need your perspective.
And so that's why I wait my turn to hear the opinions of others. To really be transparent. So one of the main things that I see me as an observation, the problem is like now we're having this conversation of young people, but we don't have young in the age group that we're talking about now. We're not getting down to the root cause of the problem because we're not in their environment. We're not asking the kids what is it that they want, what is it that they need. Everybody's talking at them and to them, but nobody is listening. And one of the things that I always tell people that I understand about life is each phase of life, there's 3 phases of life. Each phase of life, you're somewhat a student. The first phase of life where you were 50% a teacher, and I know you're 75% a student and 25% a teacher. The second phase of life where you're 50% a student and you're 50% a teacher. The third phase of life where you're 75% a teacher, 25% a student. And so the disconnection between the young and the old right now is everybody want to talk to the young people. Nobody want to have that conversation and bring them in and ask them, what is it that you want to see? Why are you doing what you're doing? There's a lot of things that I heard you all say this evening about being on drugs, also abandoning things. The root of the problem is what is poverty. A lot of these young people, they don't have positive role models. They don't have people that they can relate to. A lot of people that's in our community, I hate to say this and hate to sound like this, but they're aged that need more that can be very transparent. And that's also out there going through some of the same things that they're actually going through, actually been through, but not so far apart. I use myself as an example. That's why I'm so involved with them, because when a young person see me walk into a room and they hear my story, before they even hear my story, my appearance alone, they want to listen to me. They want to hear what I have to say. Then the biggest part about getting down to the root cause of the problem with young people is building relationships. And that's where these same talks that we're having, this is what's going to take that God community, a more like-minded individual, and actually going into these communities, creating relationships with these youth. You're not going to get nowhere with young people or people at all without building relationships, even with business, whatever it is, like relationships are very important. And so that's what we have to do. We have to stop just meeting and talking about them, saying this and that is what we want to do. But we actually have to do. We actually have to show these kids that we care about them. And we have to recreate the village that older folks always talk about in our community, not just in the community as for the neighborhood, in the school system. And every day when you see young people, we have to continue to motivate them, educate them. Lack of exposure is the problem with a lot of young people. If all I know is drug dealers and robbers in my family, in my community, that's what I'm coming home to. That's all I know. But when you take that child out of that environment and you expose them to entrepreneurship, like you said, these kids are damaging signs. But then when you put them on the payroll, okay, now you're teaching these kids entrepreneurship. You're teaching them the lessons. Instead, we rather just sit and talk about them and spend, I think I found out today, $90,000 to send them to incarcerate them in juvenile. Okay, when you put them in juvenile, because I'm telling what I've been through. When you put them in juvenile, this may be a kid that was not even that bad off. Wrong place at the wrong time. But you put them in juvenile, again, with people that are actually really like that. And guess what? That's what becomes his mindset now. Hey, these people are cool. These people are who I was somewhat trying to be like. And then that's when they become more of a product of their environment.
Mr. Hall, you know what? Now you asked Janard and Malik a question, right? And Janard gave his answer. He said he's not too much focusing on the kids on the outside. He's focusing more on his family members, right? And his own grandkids. And then Malik said that he knows about what it is to be in juvenile because he done been there himself. He's a product of that. Right, he can speak to the young kids. The kids would be young kids be more receptive to him because he's younger, right? So, Miss Hall, when I'm gonna say this to you, Miss Hall, do you feel that a 24-hour community center would be good for us, like for kids, for young kids who don't have anyone at home with them, who mom worked 2 jobs, and they can have a community center like Mr. Hall, you can run it, right? And I'm just using you as an example. You can be over the community center. You can have people there who can help the kids with their homework, to be mentors for them. The kids don't have anything in Savannah to do. So it's more easier when they go get high because mama not home, daddy not there. It's not a positive uncle, a positive grandfather around. So guess what? I could go over here and chill with Johnny them. They smoking weed, whatever they doing. And that's why the guns are around. Guess what? It's uncles out there who take and get high with they cousins and with their nephews. And they think it's cool and it's not. So where do the role model begin? I think, Mr. Hall.
Well, this is the thing. You know, there's 290,000 people, almost 300,000 people in Chatham County.
Mm-hmm.
We can't it's only it's a small fraction of those 290,000 that are committing these crimes and then that are off the scales. We have to we have to fit in where we fit in. Like Nardy said, he said he's not focused on anybody outside. He got enough within his family to take care of. So we need those men to step up and be the role models in their families like he is. He has nephews and grandkids that he has to keep in line so that they won't stray and do something that don't need to be done. And he got to keep them out of prison because he's been through that system. He knows that's not good for them. So, it's better to have a job than to go to prison. But see, some of these kids, they so happy. I went out to California when I first went out. And these kids were so happy to be around to get that badge, a badge of honor to be locked up, but and it's worse today, that has amplified and it's increased to a point where it is just terrible. These kids don't understand, and that is our job to make them understand now. The parents can't do it all because they got 2 and 3 jobs they got to go work. Some of them are fatherless homes. If there were more fathers in the home, then maybe the father could get a hold of their children. But to put people in place, like if Nardy got 7 nephews and nieces and grandkids that he has to make sure that he oversees, then everybody got to do the same thing in their family. I got nieces and nephews and everything, and these kids here. So some of us are going to do more. Some of us are going to step out. And it's whatever position you in, you got to be able to contribute. And with Malik talking to the young people, we need that segment also. We need that young people talking to young people to show them, hey, you don't have to go down that road. We can do this together, and all that's going to lead you in is to the graveyard or to the jailhouse, and you don't want to go there. We got.
But you know what, Mr. Hall? Guess what? They can hear you say it'll lead you to the graveyard or to the prison, and they still go out and kill someone.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because again, I was that kid. Growing up, you could tell me, hey, don't go outside. They're shooting, and a stray bullet can come down and kill you. But I must say, experience sometimes is its best teacher. And we was talking today, sometimes, I hate to say this, but sometimes the process of experience is what actually shaped your life and it shapes your story. We oftentimes go through a process and don't understand the process, so we try to trust the process instead of trusting the process. And one thing about young people, they think success, they think everything is just going to happen so quickly. This internet, this music is one of the biggest components that we are actually fighting. Even we today, I'm sure all of us listen to different genres of music, and if we was not so mature and had the knowledge to understand it's a fairy tale, this is a show, the music would trick us too. You go to work and somebody make you mad and you play some NBA YoungBoy, you be like, but you know what I'm saying? But again, when you are adding illegal drugs, firearms, this music, that is one of our biggest comparisons as well.
Yes.
The kids look up to these artists that are selling them out to prison, honestly. Let's just be honest. The amount of things that the criminal justice system is doing and putting in place to put away our African American people is crazy. And one of the things that we definitely have to understand and influence our young people is to educate themselves, not only in the classrooms, but in law. Understanding the law, understanding your rights, understanding for every action there is a consequences, but you're innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. And also, one of my biggest things that I was talking to Mr. Real about is we often sometimes want to train our kids to go to college, military. Let's teach our kids about entrepreneurship. Let's expose them early. And let's also stop putting all the money and programming into our youth sports and put into our youth mind. We need more African American politicians and lawyers. That's the only way we're going to change the way that we're viewed in the criminal justice system in the United States of America. Period. It's putting the right people in the right places, and that's joining local government in whatever capacity that may be, policing, whatever. That's what we have to do, and let our young people know that it's not always about the start, it's about how you finish.
Right. So, Mr. Janai, can I ask you, what are you doing now?
Meaning,
Meaning job, your life. What are you doing now to change
well,
the narrative about?
yeah, I got my dealership license to buy and sell cars, used cars. Um,
Okay.
yes, I buy and sell cars, and I work. Well, right now I haven't been working since April. I had a knee replacement, but I work down to the International Longshoremen Association,
Yes, sir.
and you know, that's it. That's all I'm far as doing as far as money.
Well,
But,
that's really good. I think
right,
that's really good.
right, and and just living life. Happy to be in it. Happy to be here.
That's right. And to be free.
And the other side, and be scared every day.
Mr. Janai, I want to buy a SUV.
I try to stay away from them high end cars because it's a quick flip for me. I try to buy something for 3,000 or 4,000,
Uh-huh.
and it's my tops. But SUV, we can get that, but you will have to come with me and and buy your own car or
Okay.
SUV because that's gonna run you up there. You don't want to get nothing under for SUV under about $7,000 to $8,000. That's the
Seven or
cheapest
eight.
you want. That's the cheapest you want to spend for SUV,
Okay.
unless you're gonna be
A
buying your
used
limit.
SUV, right?
Yes, about 8,000.
Okay. Okay. See that? Thank you for all this information. Look how you come on
Anything,
Incarceration and
anything,
Incorporate and
anything
tell
under
me this
that with an
information.
SUV, you're gonna be buying. You most likely gonna be buying a limit, unless you're buying it from a private owner just wanting to get rid of it, and you
Okay.
know exactly what you're getting.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you for telling me that. So, Mr. Malik, what are you doing now? What are you doing now? Tell me about what you're doing.
So I have my own speaking brand, public speaking, life coaching brand inspired by Malik, where I do motivational speaking and offer life coaching and mentor services as well. And I also work at ILA Local 1414. I'm a longshoreman. I actually started about a year ago. It's actually been uh, it's been very amazing. I actually get ready to go to school next month. Going back to Savannah State to study a major in political science. Basically, so that I can also, again, the difference between me and a lot of people in my life and my journey is I'm able to talk to the kids. I'm also able to walk the talk. So just knowing that I want to be in the political and law field, I understand that I have to educate myself in that area so that I can be,
City Council.
the best person I can be, and also going into my my dreams and my passion of actually serving in local government and running for city council next year is actually.
Oh, his phone is still buffering. Mr. Janai, Mr.
Yeah.
Julius, why you not saying nothing?
Because you
Mr.
got,
Hall, Mr.
I'm
Hall,
telling
guess
you,
what? You know what we
Janai,
should
he's
do?
back. I mean, there go
Janai,
Malik, he's back.
What's
Oh,
going on?
Malik, with Janai.
Yes.
So, you okay? So you selling the? Oh goodness, I got two clients for you right now, Mr. Janai.
Okay, I got a 2014 Honda Accord Coupe. I'm
Uh-huh.
selling. It's got. A matter of fact, I'm in it now. Everything I drive is for sale. I got it.
Janai, guess what? I know
It's
this
got
is incarceration to
160,000 miles on it.
incorporate. I'm
Huh?
saying I know this incarceration to incorporate, but my daughter needs a car. Like she'll get it from you right now.
Yeah, for this car here. Yeah, I
Yeah.
want. $11,000 for this car.
Well, she need to look at it because I'm telling you.
She can look at it.
Okay,
Yeah, she can look at it.
okay. So see that, Mr. Hall, it's good that he was on and telling
of
me his
course.
story.
Of course, you just gotta get ready to get all the people out there. We need to get all these men and
I
put
got a
them all
couple of more
together.
people. I got a couple of more people Jewish. I'm gonna send to you. You know them, and they don't mind talking.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta send Bonnie over here. I need Bonnie on here so Bonnie can tell his story. You know.
yeah. I'm sure he wasn't one I had in mind, but I'm sure he won't mind talking. He doing good with the legal work and working.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Malik,
home early because of him. You know,
wow.
he did the legal work that got me uh, home early. So
All right.
it's the mind is a terrible thing to lose, and when you have the time, you see how great you really are. It
That's right.
lets you see how great you can be.
Exactly.
Sometimes we're so caught up in the world that we don't have the time to do those things to properly vet what you want to do with your life
That's
because
right.
you have so much peer pressure and everything else coming down on you, and that's a whole lot of what's happening in
Right,
the
right.
world.
And you see a bunch of grown men right there. You say the key word. That's that's what I'm gonna say. I feel victim of peer pressure. Just wanting to be around people you raise up with, and doing things that you normally wouldn't have done if they wasn't doing it. So that's peer pressure. You see a lot of grown men that's 30, 40, 50 years old that's under peer pressure.
Mhm.
And I thank Allah for allowing me and giving me the strength to not continue to fall victim of that peer pressure. If not, I would have been still in the same boat, running back and forth, running to and fro, and not moving. They say movement is not progress. You're doing a lot of movement, but you ain't making no progress. So
Right.
that's all I would have been doing was moving, not making any progress. Because same thing what you see other people doing. They're making movement, but no progress because they under peer pressure.
That's correct.
They 30, 40, some 60, 70 years old, still have not grew up.
That's the
Want to
truth.
be, yeah,
That is the truth.
And the
right,
two,
It is the mindset. It's the mindset of the people.
yeah,
right.
And you know what, Janelle, you blew my mind when you say men 40 and 50 years old is under peer pressure and want to be like.
60,
Wow.
yeah. Oh,
that's
just
crazy.
want to be somebody they not and want to be like, they might not went backwards. They want to be like little boys now.
Yeah.
That's
And,
still peer pressure.
and the two
Wow.
most dangerous things that affects our community is uh, the narcotics use, not just the marijuana use, the narcotics use, like you said, Nardy, and the music. The music is just these
I,
kids
it's
live
not
by
the
this
music
music.
anymore. It's not the music anymore. It's a mixture. It's a mixture of what we all saying. Peer pressure. You know, a lot of people that wanting things and can't get it no other way but through crime.
Wow.
You know, and everything.
But you know what,
Uh,
Janelle, you said this. You said you didn't even have to be the way you were.
no, I wasn't. I wasn't,
Right.
and that's the same thing I be telling my nieces and nephews and cousins. Them y'all don't have that to do. It
Right.
ain't worth it.
Right.
It ain't worth it. No, I promise you I didn't.
And guess what, Malik? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna get with Mr. Hall because I see that you are a community activist and a motivational speaker, and we gonna get. And since Mr. Hall already tutor young people, I feel like we can get some young people together and have you come out and speak to them.
Most definitely.
Yes,
I'm
because
doing. Um, and while we're here, I'm actually working on. I actually have a program now, where in one of my mentoring sessions, you'll be able to actually book me, and I'm actually going to come in and do an hour session or a 12-week course where we read about this book. The sentence actually here in Savannah, and it actually talks about what's going on with some of our young people. The title of the book is "I'm My Brother's Keeper, Not My Brother's Killer." And the crazy thing, the book is so phenomenal because the setting is actually here in Savannah, Georgia. You'll hear about Savannah High in the book, Savannah High School, and Savannah State. So when the shooting happened downtown with Jerry Chambers a couple of years ago, I was actually downtown and I actually did an interview on it, and that's how I actually was a proper rep. they reached out to me and told me to apply for the position. And it's out to Homeboy Industry and the author of the book to me and sent me the book. And the book is so amazing that I actually finished reading the book in a bar. Like that's just how good the book was. Couldn't put it down. The author actually blessed me with permission to actually do a mentoring program with it and actually use the study guide with the activities for our young people. So that's one of the services I'm actually starting to offer now for my mentoring life coaching session, and I definitely want to do it with a group of African American men in our city so that they can see the importance of putting the guns down, living to see another day. Because again, a lot of these kids are coming from father's home, and it's crazy what the book talks about that these kids are killing each other, and they can actually possibly be siblings, they can possibly be family. And we just have to again be our brother's keepers and not our brother killers. And let's just come together because Black lives are not going to really matter to other races. It's a Black lives really matter to us.
Exactly. So. Malik. Awesome. Malik, can I ask you this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because you're younger. Malik, why Mr. Hall asked you this, but I want to know. Like why they think it's a brownie point to kill somebody and to go to prison?
Again, that's the trend right now. That's what they're hearing. To me personally, it hurts me to my core, hurts me to my soul that my African American brothers and sisters will pick up a cell phone when they see law enforcement, police doing police brutality to us. We'll pick out our cell phones and record, and we're these big tough macho people, but we go into our communities and we see an individual that's just trying to have a better life, or they may mess with your girlfriend or whatever it is, whatever silly reason it is, they'll take their life before they'll take the life of someone else that's out here really in the wrong. And it hurts me to my soul. See that happen in our community every day, but we are rather march to take the Black lives. So we have to ask ourselves sometimes, do Black lives really matter? We have to ask ourselves that. And we're not going to be respected until we actually come together and stop killing each other. But I really don't know why we continue to want to kill each other. Back when I grew up, we used to fight, and everybody used to. Now it's, I guess, who could kill the most people. When I was growing up, it was who could win the most fights, who was the most, you know what I'm saying, who was the, oh, boy, you don't want to fight them, boy. You know, they got them hands, but now it's, oh, you don't want to mess with them, he got that eye. You know what I'm saying? So, different time, but one of the things, that's why I really want to try to interject and intercept some of those mindsets of those young people that are carrying guns around now, so that if they're in that moment, in that given moment, and they think that they want to pull that gun out and be their brother's killer, to just be their brother's keeper and not their killer. Because that's very important. Because
that's amazing.
Two lives are always lost. When a murder happens, two lives are lost. I try to get everyone to understand. Somebody's going to prison and somebody's going 6 feet under. So somebody's family is getting ready to pay for years on as far as commissary and things like that. And somebody's family is about to get greedy and have to pay a funeral cost bill.
Yes. I just want to commend both of you men, because as Miko would say, he would say that recidivism, we're changing the narrative of how they see returning citizens. Janad, you're doing very well for yourself, and also you, Malik, I commend both of you, man. And I just want to I commend you too, Mr. Hall, for all your work that you do, for all you do a lot of positive things, Mr. Hall, running for mayor, and I know you're going to get there. You're a very positive person, and I respect you. And so I like the fact that you two, Mr. Malik and Mr. Janad, that y'all are doing positive things. And Janad, even with you being an uncle and a daddy and whatever, you giving back to your nieces and your nephews, a lot of people don't do that.
Right, and I got a 4-year-old daughter.
Don't say nothing.
Yeah, and I have a 4-year-old daughter too, so she's a handful also.
You say you got a 4-year-old?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Okay. So, but it's still so good that you say something to your nieces and nephews. Like I say, some uncles them don't say anything.
Right.
And Malik, I commend you with you being a young man and you being as positive as you are. Because a lot of young men, they say, well, this is my life. I got my life. I'm trying to live my life. But you want to give back. And I like that. And I
Uh,
like that, Mr. Hall. Because I know Marie get on your nerves and you.
Without a doubt, you get on my nerve. You and Tiffany. But my challenge is to those black men out there that has an opportunity to see your nephew, to see your cousin's kid, uh, and they might respect you. So if they respect you, it is your obligation to try to talk to them. Because you're older and you're in a position to tell them to do otherwise. And with the young people, with Malik, those kids that are doing great, those young men that are doing great, need to be role models for uh, these other young men who are just going out of the circle a little bit. The media doesn't give a positive image of young black men doing anything. And on our black media here, this is what we want to project. We want to project that positive energy, those positive things that you all are doing out in the community so that these other kids to say it's not lame, you know, it's real game, you know, and that's what needs to happen. I need to get the book that you were talking about, My Brother's Keeper, Not My Brother's Killer, and we need to promote that book. We need to promote mentorship and within our communities, within our families, and that's how we're gonna be able to change it. It took a long time for it to change over. It's gonna take a while for us to change it back. But we got to start somewhere, and it's got to start here. My thing is, with the two of you, and myself included, once paid, the debt is no longer a debt. So you don't worry about anything you did in the past if you've already paid for it. What you got to worry about is the next step that you take to change somebody's life.
And that's
Especially
what I'm big on. That's what I'm big on, moving forward.
that's right.
Moving
That's right.
forward. Well, this about the end of me. I got
All right.
I
We're
got
at
a
the end of
cable.
the show.
All
We
right.
appreciate you coming out. We're gonna have you
Thank
back
you,
on
Janine.
All right.
and send those guys to us. Send those guys to me so we can put them on the show, so we can get those testimonies, so we can show people that it ain't over. We might have started out wrong, but we can end strong.
Right.
Okay. So we
All right.
appreciate
Thank
you
you.
coming out, and we'll get with you later, now.
All right. Thanks.
Don't forget you still owe me lunch too.
All right.
All right. All right. So
So Malik, I want
Janai's
to buy that.
gone.
I want to buy that book from you, Malik.
okay, y'all gonna have to go get it off Amazon. I
Oh,
can send
Amazon.
y'all
Okay, I thought
a
it
link
was okay.
to get
Amazon.
my book. My book is autographed, personally made out to me.
Mhm.
But the book is phenomenal.
What's the name of it again? Say the name of it.
I'm my brother's keeper, not my brother's killer.
Okay.
Of the book is Cynthia Castell. She actually stays right here in Savannah as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. And it's not even that long. It's about 243 pages. And like I said, I actually have I have like a course for it. Well, I actually will have like engagement activities for each chapter as well. And I've been talking to her. I actually want to bring her in on that 12-week to do a meet and greet and a Q&A with the sessions that I'll be doing. So yes, that's.
So Malik, you showed up at the last Stop the Violence rally that Dr. Jamal had, and I'm sure that we have one scheduled soon. I believe I got to get with him on when the next one is.
Okay.
But if you can bring that person with you, we need all the input that we can have. People giving that input so we can try to change the narrative, change the route for some of these kids so we can keep them from that school to prison pipeline, because these are young people that we probably can correct. There's a march tomorrow in Carver Village. Pastor Reverend Alan Maynard. They got a march out there because we got just as many police shootings that we have these kids shooting each other, and we got to stop all the. Hell, they don't care if they saying the police killing them. Why can't I kill them? So. Right. And so we got to be able to change the narrative on both fronts. So we appreciate you coming out, Malik. We'll get with you. You got my phone number, right? Let's set up lunch next week sometime.
He's gone.
Malik. He probably wasn't hearing us.
Right.
But okay, Miss Host. You got it. Oh, he's back now.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Malik.
Yes, ma'am.
You heard what Mr. Hall said. He said you got his number.
Okay.
He said he want to do lunch next week.
Okay.
So we could go ahead and get a group of boys together. You could bring that book and you could put up a meeting with all that because you got it.
Yes, man. I appreciate it.
Malik, what we might could do is probably try to get, these kids when they go into the system, especially when they're juveniles, and then they go to we need to see if we can work with these juvenile court judges so that we can get a hold of these kids also.
Yes.
So we can make this required reading and a required class that they have to take in front of us, because see, we know we've been through the things that they're trying to go through. They don't need to be talking to somebody from academia. They don't need to be talking to somebody who hasn't been through it. That person can't relate to what they're going through. Right. So unless that person has been through it,
Yes, that's what I'm working on right now. So I have little connections at juvenile court, and they understand they understand my value, especially as being a success story. Going through juvenile court, working closely with juvenile court with the REP program. I was actually the first life navigator for the REP program. And if I was to return, that was actually something that I want to put in their course as well. So I spoke with my former probation officer who works there, Mr. Kenny Williams, about implementing some things and working very closely. I feel like juvenile court is really one of my focuses. Will be definitely one of my biggest clients for my business. So that's I definitely like to reach back there. You definitely can't forget where you come from, and also. So if I did enough paid course, I actually want to do the volunteer registration to actually go in and produce this course to the juvenile detention center for actually free. The charge and that actually might get back there. And I know the director there as well also. So that's the goal.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, very good.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you coming out.
Thank you.
Marie, I'll be getting back in touch with you to come back on, and then you give me a call for lunch after Wednesday.
Okay. Yes, sir. I will do.
So we can sit down
Thank
and talk.
you, Mr. Hall. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Incarceration to Incorporate. Thank you for me going for AB. And once again, Mr. Julius Hall, for the men who are listening to Jessup Prison. Thank you so much for the men and women who tuned in tonight. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
like that.